Greetings and a very warm welcome to the Bangalore Toastmasters Club. For those who are other fellow Toastmasters and guests, this is the final meeting of this term. Yes, and to make this meeting even sweeter, don't worry, we have hosted a huge array of guests such as Toastmaster Amrit, Sheeb, Abhay, Toastmaster Gangaadhar, Prakarsh, Toastmaster Srilakshmi and many more. And this meeting will be such a blast that, believe me, all of you, that you will have so much fun and so much enthusiasm that you will forget all your problems in your life. That's what will happen. You will become so lost with the speakers on stage that you'll become like a mathematician, one of my favorite mathematicians. His name is Paul Erdos, a Hungarian mathematician who used to specialize in the field of number theory. Now what happened once, let me narrate an incident. What happened once was that Paul Erdos had shifted his home from one location to the other. But because he was so lost in his work, fell in love with it, that he forgot where his new home was. And what happened after that was, he did not know where to go after work. So what he decided to do is, maybe let him go to his old house, and from there let him see whether he could trace his steps. Which is what he did. And as he approached the house, he saw a little girl down the hallway. When he looked at the little girl, he went to the little girl and asked her, "Child, do you know those people who lived down the house? Do you know where they lived?" And the little girl said, "Daddy, we knew that this would happen. So Mummy sent me to pick you up." Just like that, Paul Erdos was obviously lost, but similarly, I too was lost. I did not realize that while stating all the three guidelines and different parts of introducing Toastmaster Priyanka, I did not realize that I've already reached the last stage, the last time. This is the last time that I'm going to state the guidelines and introduce our dear President. Which is why, for the last time, let me state the guidelines. First, I kindly request you all, please put your phones on silent mode or switch them off. Second, kindly refrain from talking about sex, religion, or politics in order to not hurt the sentiments of those around you. And finally, if ever you require to exit the meeting hall, please do so if and only if you hear applause. Now, the person that I'm introducing for today is somebody who I have a lot to learn from, and she holds this virtue of a leader that I see is very hard to attain. This Toastmaster is somebody who has the virtue of kindness. I believe being kind is the hardest virtue that anyone can ever, imbibe within himself, because it's easy to be cynical, easy to be arrogant. Let me narrate this incident very fast, taking time in. There was a time when we were, me, Toastmaster Brian, Shreya, Toastmaster Vishal and Toastmaster Srinivas was not here, was preparing for the table topics and evaluation contest. And what she did was that she had, since we had never done an evaluation before, she hosted a meeting for us where she invited Toastmaster DTM Rajdeep to teach us the nitty-gritties of evaluating. She could have stopped that session there, but she further followed up on us every day, a 3-hour session, taking off time from her personal commitments and work in order to make sure that we satisfy our needs. She didn't have to do it, and yet she did. That, I believe, is kindness, unconditional, expecting nothing in return. These kind of virtues, I really, truly inspire me. Now, I want you all to raise your hands. For the very last time, you have to introduce the President. All of you, raise your hands. And I wanted to give a big round of applause. Priyanka, we love you.
Thank you so much, Taran, for such a wonderful introduction, and I'm actually quite overwhelmed. Thank you so much, everyone. Wishing each and every one of you a very good evening and a warm welcome to Bangalore Toastmasters Club. I call to order meeting number 1435. The previous meeting was a very interesting meeting where we learned a lot. But to throw more light on it, I would like to invite our secretary, Toastmaster Brian, to share his minutes of the meeting.
A very good evening, Toastmasters.
Good evening.
Let's see what happened in the previous meeting, meeting number 1434. It happened on the 21st of June 2024 with the theme, Find Your Balance on and off the mat. The word of the day was limba. The awardees are as follows. The best speaker went to Toastmaster Amshu, who gave the icebreaker of the day, for the day. And the best evaluator, DTM Rasik Manwani. The best role taker, Toastmaster Vaidyanathan. The best tag team player, Dr. Nisha. The best table topic speaker, Toastmaster Mansi. There were 2 speeches presented that evening, with 31 members present and 17 guests. That concludes my final report for the show.
Are there any amendments?
No.
This meeting?
I know.
Thank you so much, guys, for being an amazing secretary and all the time being very supportive. I now pass the previous minutes of meeting 1434. Do we have any guests who are visiting us for the very first time? Please raise your hands. Could you please stand up and introduce yourselves? Tell me your name and how you feel about Bangalore Toastmasters Club.
Hi, myself Tushar Dua. I knew about Toastmasters previously, but I found the Instagram page of Bangalore Toastmasters Club, so I saw this meeting and I came.
Thank you so much. You did great. Yes, please.
Hello, good evening everyone. I'm Kimju Joshi and I had actually heard about Bangalore Toastmasters a lot when I was in Mumbai also. So thought of visiting, looking forward for some fun and learnings. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Hi everyone, my name is Varshita and I heard my the Toastmasters Commander who was a former member, but not anymore, but then I got my hand.
What's his name?
Pardon?
Your brother's name?
Mohan. He was an Indian.
Okay.
Yeah.
Warm welcome. Hello Toastmasters, let us together warmly welcome our guests with a thunderous applause. 2 weeks back, there was a big gathering, a family kind of a gathering that I attended. And in that gathering, many of them were reminiscing their old days when they were in their 60s, the 50s or 60s, that decade. And one of the personality that was spoken a lot, and it also appeared that that personality had a huge influence, or the people around him were very, very inspired. His name was Vasant Rao. Vasant Rao was serving in the armed forces, and he was a part of the 61 Cavalry Regiment. It was a prestigious regiment. So during his training days, and the 61 Cavalry Regiment is a regiment which is called the cavalry regiment. So one of the trainings over there is horse riding. And he learned the skill of horse riding very quickly. And just not learning the skill of horse riding, he learned the skill of how to communicate with the horse. And that was his plus point. Seeing that how he used to communicate with the horse and how he excelled in the skill of horse riding, he was given the opportunity to play and represent the polo sport. Now, polo sport is not an easy sport. It is considered a sport of extremists and very challenging because at a time it's a combination of too many things. When you need to handle the stick, the ball, the horse, your opponents, at the same time balance yourself. It is a combination of these things. But Vasant Rao was a very hyperactive person. So for a hyperactive person, this sport was very, very challenging. Because if a wrong move can tickle the horse, and it can be very, very fatal. So you're supposed to be very, very calm and composed. Now that was the most challenging part for Vasant Rao. But he had a very good trainer. The trainer that taught him how to control his mind, how to control his hyperactiveness, his anxiety. Because that is the key of the sport. The key of the sport is how do you conquer your mind? How do you control your mind? At the same time, be very calm and very sharp. And be very strategical because every move counts in a polo sport. It is that challenging. You have to be 100% present. Not even a slight of a distraction, nervousness, fear, nothing is allowed in that sport. It's all about how do you control your mind. With a lot of challenge, he learned that art. And eventually, he was regarded as one of the best polo players in the 50s and 60s. And that sport that taught him so much also did not restrict there. It also helped him in the battlefield. He was a part of the Second World War and the Indo-Pakistan War and many more wars. Now, one thing that he kept on sharing to the people over there or any of the gatherings at that time when he was a part of, that how important it is to control your mind. Your mind can be your biggest enemy and can be your biggest savior and friend. Because if you do not tackle your mind the way you need to tackle at that particular situation very strategically, you will fall like anything. And very nicely with his experiences and stories, he shared those stories to his children. And his children have learned their art. So one thing that I would like to share with you all is, you will come across a lot of challenging. Sports is one thing that teaches you how to handle it. But your life will teach you a lot of it. But how you handle that with calmness, with sharpness, controlling your anxiety during the situations and face that, that will help you blossom in whatever you're doing. That helped Vasant Rao, which he cascaded to his children. But I wish his children had cascaded it to his grandchildren because Vasant Rao is my grandfather. Vasant Rao Rannorey. Somebody that I really draw my inspiration. It was very unfortunate that I never got a chance to spend much time with him, but his stories carry a lot in me that as much as possible, with any stage of life, I can make him proud with the qualities that he had held so high and people look up to. I hope I can carry that forward. And now, it is also a great honor and pleasure to introduce the next person who also believes how important it is that your mind plays along with you. Knowing that importance, this person is a trained yoga teacher. And just not a trained yoga teacher, who teaches mainly the dementia people, who suffers from dementia, and help them overcome those situations which are very challenging for dementia people. Because I have seen my neighbor suffering from that. She is exploring herself right now in different walks of life, where she also trains herself in mixed martial arts and also financial literacy. So you can see how, in which area she is growing and looking forward very soon to become a student again by pursuing her MBA in luxury management. Please join me in welcoming the Toastmaster of today's meeting, Toastmaster Mansi.
Thank you, Madam President, for the warm introduction. A big round of applause for our kind, calm, and positive President, Toastmaster Priyanka. There was once an old man called Mr. Sukhi, whose wife had passed away and children settled abroad, so he decided to move to an old age home. Upon reaching the reception, a nurse was instructed to take him to his room. And on the way to the room, she began praising it lavishly. "There's a luxurious carpet," she said. "That's fantastic," responded Mr. Sukhi. "An attractive fireplace. How nice. Beautiful pictures adorn the walls. I love it so much." "But sir, you haven't even seen the room yet. How can you love it without even looking at it?" "Whether I like the room or not does not depend upon the state of the room. It depends upon me." A very good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests.
Good evening.
Mr. Sukhi chose a positive attitude irrespective of the condition of the room. And that captures the essence of today's theme, keep your face to the sunshine and you cannot see the shadow. The single way to master every aspect of our lives, whether it's personal, professional, health, table topics, is mastery over our emotions. They say attitude leads to altitude. And the best part, it's an inner resource and all of us already have it. Then why aren't we as sanguine as Mr. Sukhi? Why are we Mr., Mrs. or Miss Dukhi? You see, we forget that there is a gap between the external circumstances or the stimulation and our inner feelings or the response. To illustrate this further, let me share with you a real life story of Viktor Frankl. Anyone heard of him?
Yes.
Oh wow, okay. So he was one of the Holocaust survivors from the Second World War. Unfortunately, when Hitler went on a rampage against the Jews in Europe, Viktor Frankl and his family were thrown in one of the worst concentration camps, the Auschwitz camp, known for its inhuman treatment. So over there, he was tortured, separated from his wife and daughter, who were later killed, and he was forced to walk through the nights unclothed in that biting winter, not knowing if he'd see the next sunrise. However, through this worst possible torment, Viktor Frankl realized that he had one skill that nobody could take from him, and that was his positive attitude. He decided to decouple his mind from his environment, and he was seen smiling, even laughing, and he became a source of inspiration to everyone in the prison. When the World War ended, he decided to share this discovery of his with everyone. So he began talking in universities, and he ended up addressing 219 universities and received honorary doctorate from about 29 of them. There are over 150 books written on him. The key takeaway from this story is that life always doesn't serve us chocolates and cakes. It also throws lemons our way. But do the lemons turn us sour? Or do we make lemonade? No. Do we grab tequila and lime and salt? Sorry. So, successful people in history also hit hit rough waters, but the rain did not torment their spirits, and one such person was Toastmaster. Oh my God, why am I so nervous? Okay, sorry. Successful people in history also hit rough waters, but the rain did not dampen their spirit. One such person was Mr. Ralph C. Smedley.
Robert is my friend.
Say hi to him. Mr. Ralph C. Smedley, who was the education director at a YMCA club, who upon seeing that his members wanted to learn the art of public speaking, started the Rainbow of Toastmasters International Club in Santa Ana, California. This club that started exactly 100 years ago in 1924 is now spread across the world in 141 locations and has touched the lives of over 350,000 members. So let me start with explaining how the Toastmaster meeting works. A meeting is divided into three parts. The first part is our sunshine, where our members come and deliver their prepared speeches. The reason I call it sunshine is because just as the sun is the brightest star of our solar system and can be seen for the longest duration, similarly, our prepared speakers enjoy maximum stage time. The second part is when grey clouds start looming in this room and we can hear thunder and lightning, not from the outside, but from inside our members. Yes, I am talking about the thunder of their pounding hearts, because it's time for impromptu speeches or table topics. And the third part is when we have a bright rainbow, which is our evaluation. Don't worry, it's not the Shark Tank where judges devaluate you. Here, constructive feedback is shared so that we can shine brighter in our future meetings. Just as an invisible universe binds all these elements of nature together, similarly our committee, who works tirelessly to ensure that all of us can shine. And as you know, today marks a special day because it's their last meeting of their term. So let's shower them with a huge round of applause. Our general evaluator today is the highly accomplished Toastmaster Srilakshmi Shankar. More about her when she comes on stage, but she's supported by this vibrant tag team, each adding a vital color to the rainbow of our meetings. First up is our maverick turned money manager. Money manager? Yeah, they say time is money. You would know this if you were paying car parking bills at Ashirwad. So to keep us on track and ensure our speeches don't exceed their budget, I mean their time, the timer is our very own Tom Cruise, who's constantly pushing the boundaries of the sky, the land, the water with his adventure stints. Toastmaster Pradeep Padmanabhan.
Wonderful introduction. Toastmaster of the day. Okay. So, like she rightly said, it's my job to make sure the time budget is always utilized properly. So, I have a small anecdote to share quickly. Now, how many of you were reliant on your moms to wake you up in the morning? Yeah, that's most of us, right? So, first time she would come and say, please wake up. That's a gentle wake up, right? That's your green card. Then what happened? Like, you better get up. That was the yellow card. And finally, what happened? The bedsheet was thrown away or water was thrown on us. That's the red card. Correct? So, each prepared speech here is going to be within 5, 6, and 7 minutes. On the 5th minute, you see the green card. 6th minute, you see the yellow card. And 7th minute, you see the red card. If you are up on the stage for table topics, you are allotted 1, 1.5, and 2 minutes with the same progression. Green, yellow, and red at the same time. And the evaluators have 3 minutes to present their evaluation in total. Okay? So you get 2 minutes, you get the green card, third minute, 2.5 minutes, you get the yellow card, and the third minute, the red card. Is that okay? Good. Be sanguine about your efforts in limiting yourself to the time. All the best to all.
Our next role taker is move. Move? Ah, say aha tak. Keeping track of all these crutch words is our very own Robert Downey Jr., our Iron Man, this analytical and audacious, soon-to-be entrepreneur who's with a constant drive to challenge the status quo. Toastmaster Prakarsh, Anand.
Good evening, dear Toastmasters and guests.
Good evening.
Thank you for that introduction. So as the R counter for the day, it's my duty to stay vigilant to the speakers on stage and record their abrupt pauses like this. Fumble words, filler words like you know, like, but, so, etc. And irrelevant repetitions like literally, basically, etc. I'll share my report with you all towards the end of the meeting and give it to the general evaluator for the permanent record. I'm sanguine that the speakers will be avoiding such filler words, and all the best to the speakers.
Before I introduce the next role taker, let me share with you a quote that resonates with me strongly. A woman without her man is nothing. A woman, without her comma, man is nothing, exclamation. Ensuring that our speeches have the right punctuation so that their meaning is clearly understood is our next role taker, our grammarian, who's the Jack Sparrow of our club. The charming pirate captain who can talk his way out of almost any situation. Toastmaster Alan.
It was really weird. With the first two introduction, I kept getting up until I sat down. Third time finally I got up in here. So, as the grammar detective of today, I'll be on the lookout for the good usage and the not so good usage of the English language. The word of the day, as you may have heard, I was very surprised that already 3 people have used it, is sanguine, which means positive and hoping for good things. So, I'll just give you an example. Members of Bangalore Toastmasters Club choose to remain in a sanguine mood despite the gloomy weather today. Now, the word of the day, I'll be on the lookout for people who use the word of the day. The reason why 3 people have used it already is because they know something. That is, the committee has agreed to sponsor a lunch on Sunday afternoon to whoever uses the word of the day. So please go ahead and use the word of the day. And sorry guests, this is only for members. So yeah, back to...
A thunderous round of applause once again to our tag team. And with that, let's get this meeting started. Our first speaker today is attempting her project, Writing a Speech with a Purpose, from level 1 of Pathway Visionary Communication. And she's going to be evaluated by our reliable and resourceful engineer and gadget maker, our very own Q from James Bond. Always helping his fellow club members and ensuring everyone has the tools they need to succeed. Toastmaster Abhay, please read out the guidelines.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests.
Good evening.
The purpose of this project is to learn or review basic methods for writing a speech with a defined purpose and to present a well-organized speech on any topic. All the best to the speaker. Time manager, please note 5 to 7 minutes is practically.
As a child, she wanted to become a pilot, just like her father. And today she's piloting her dream of becoming an artist. She calls herself a work in progress, fueled by her constant love for exploration. And we've seen her explore her various roles with unique self-expression. When I asked her the famous glass half full question, she gave me a truly Ludhiana-worthy response. I prefer to drink straight from the bottle. Let's everyone buckle up, for we have Toastmaster Amrit Kaur taking stage with speech titled Buckle Up.
Have you ever had a dashing car ride in an amusement park?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, many times.
I had one of my most memorable experiences on a dashing car that I would like to share with you all. Good evening, Toastmasters and my fellow riders.
Good evening.
As a kid, I went on a school trip to Appughar, an amusement park in Delhi. Like all children, I was super excited for the dashing car ride. I was waiting in queue impatiently, and as my turn came, I jumped into the car. I was turning the steering wheel left and right and bumping my car into my friend's car. I was having a ball of a time until suddenly someone hit me from behind. I lost my control and my nose hit the steering wheel. Ow! Who the hell is this? But before I could turn and see who did this to me, I was hit again, and this time with even greater force. My nose hit the steering wheel and blood started flowing through my nose. Luckily for me, the car ride was stopped. I was picked up by one of my teachers, brought out and put down on grass. Someone pressed their handkerchief on my nose. Around me, a lot of chaos was going on. I could taste blood in my mouth and feel the pressure of hand on my nose. After some time, when the nose bleeding stopped, I saw that my school uniform shirt, which was white, had turned red. As you can imagine, for the rest of the trip, I sat on grass and watched my friends enjoying their rides. Later I realized that in my excitement for the dashing car ride, I had completely ignored the instructions to wear the seatbelt. 15 years later, my sister Gargi was traveling from her work in Noida to our home in Faridabad. She was sitting in the back seat of her car and was super excited to reach home. We had planned to go shopping the next day for her engagement, which was due in 1 week. She was less than 5 kilometers from our home when her car got hit by a trailer truck. My sister suffered multiple injuries. After struggling to survive for 2 weeks in the hospital, she succumbed to her injuries. I learned my lesson, not once, but twice. A seatbelt is a life belt. As per the Indian Road Transport Ministry, in 8 out of 10 car accidents, the occupants are not wearing their seatbelt. So the question is, why we are not using the most simple and effective way to save our lives? Surprisingly, there are many misconceptions about the seatbelts. I will share 4 of them. The first myth: buckling up is just waste of time. But if you calculate, it takes 3 seconds to buckle up, which means that even if you have to buckle up 20 times a day, it would still take 1 minute of your time. Your time is valuable, and so are you. The second myth: seatbelt is just a piece of plastic and it does not offer any sufficient protection. But in reality, seatbelt is designed to keep our head, our torso, and our pelvis firmly strapped to the seat, so we do not fly out of our seat in case of a crash. The third myth: seatbelt is not required for slow speed driving. Now we all have learned in our physics lesson, bodies in motion continue to remain in motion, which means that after a crash, the car stops, but you don't. The fourth myth: I have airbags in my vehicle. I don't need seatbelts. Do you know that airbags inflate at a speed of over 160 km per hour? And if you are not strapped properly, you can be severely injured just by the force of the airbag. Airbags are supposed to work in coordination with the seat belts. It is not a substitute for seat belts. I learned my lesson not once, but twice. A seat belt is a life belt. My school trip became memorable for all the wrong reasons. I wish I could go back and fasten my seat belt to enjoy my school outing. I wish my sister had fastened her seat belt so she could have been with me. My fellow riders, in this beautiful journey called life, which is precious, the next time you enter into a car, you know what is the first thing you need to do.
Thank you, Toastmaster Amrit. It's really not easy to come on stage and talk about such incidents that leave such a deep impact in our lives. So let's give it up for Amrit again. Now our next speaker is attempting his project, Understanding Your Communication Style, from level 2 of Pathway Presentation Mastery. Seems like his hairstyle left quite an impression. His evaluator started sporting a similar look.
other eclipse attempting a project where the purpose of this project is for the member to learn about different communication styles and identify the primary style, their primary style, sorry. And the purpose of the speech is for the member to share the impact of their style on others. And I'm quite sanguine that this is going to be a great speech, and I'll get my lunch.
Who's the best friend of Bruce Willis?
Sheeb.
Bruce Lee. And who's the best friend of Bruce Lee? Malayali. Of course. Our next speaker is a hardcore Manu. He works as an employee engagement consultant by the day and a budding trainer at his own company, Stage Catalyst, by night. He calls himself a fitness enthusiast, specializing in running his mouth and diving into troubles. Optimistic and energetic, he's a glass half full kind of a guy until it reaches his lips. And then it's a whole different story. Don't worry, Sheeb, your secret is safe with us. Let's give it up for our VP PR, soon to be VP Education, Toastmaster Sheeb Kumar, with speech title, Do You Understand?
If you understand, say you understand. If you don't understand, say you don't understand. If you understand, if you say you don't understand, how will I understand that you understand? Do you understand? No. Madam Toastmaster and my fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests, good evening.
Good evening.
What differentiates mankind from the rest of the world is the power to communicate. The first distinguished Toastmaster, lady distinguished Toastmaster, and the first ever lady international president of Toastmaster International, Helen Blanchard, once said, if you get out of Toastmasters, all there is to get out of Toastmasters, you will never get out of Toastmasters. When I heard this for the first time, it tickled me like a tangent. Then the famous American sociologist Charles Cooley said, I'm not what I think I am. I'm not what you think I am. I am what I think you think I am. That's why Bernard said, the biggest problem in communication is the illusion that it has already happened. My first sales manager, Ayappan Koshi, advised me while meeting my clients. He said, Sheeb, if you cannot dazzle them with your brilliance, baffle them with your bullshit. He said, if you cannot convince them, at least confuse them. I took his advice, and believe me, immediately I started getting orders from my clients. Get out and stay out. So we all face challenges when we communicate, right? I have served as a VP membership for 2 terms. Believe me, it is easier to propose to a girl and convince her than persuading a member to renew the membership. Maybe BTMC is an exception. Most of the clubs have at least 20 to 25 members. So during my tenure, I have experimented with my communication style, and this is what I learned. I tried first the 3B technique. First B is beg. Alan, please renew. Bro, KD bro, please renew. It doesn't work. Then I began bullying. Hey Anish, how many times I have to tell you to renew on time? If you don't renew today, I will not allow you to enter the club. It doesn't work. Then I tried third one,
borrowing. Rahul, if you don't have money, I will pay. You say me when you have. All the 3B doesn't work. That's when my mentor told me, you try, there are 4 different communication styles. You try that. The first one is initiating communication style. Here, you value the interactions with others and share the stories. For example, I go onto the stage as a VP membership and I say this. Imagine you are at Anaheim, California, August 17th. The room is filled with people, white people. And you are witnessing the World Championship of Public Speaking. And your name is called the contestant number 1, Abhay Kothari. Abhay Kothari, contestant number 1. And you are on the stage, the white people cheering for you, screaming for you, Abhay, Abhay, Abhay. Abhay is ready to speak. When the chief judge slowly comes and tells Abhay, sorry Abhay, you can't speak. You have not renewed your membership. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't want to happen such an incident, please renew your membership. After my pitch, the members came and said, Sheeb, nice tailor. But my tail went pale. It didn't help me nail a single sail. Then the second style is supportive communication. Here you try to earn the trust with reassurance. For example, folks, you are paying 6,400 rupees to improve your communication journey, right? But I know that the samosa and the hot tea we serve here, many of you don't like. So for the next season, as a part of committee, I promise you that we replace this with fresh juice and grilled sandwiches. So renew your membership. It doesn't work. And I try the third style, that is analytical communication style. Here you use statistics and facts and figures. For example, look at this young boy. He's a college student. And right now he is a vice president. Membership. Ladies and gentlemen, only 1 in 100 people get that opportunity. If you join Toastmasters, renew your membership, you can be the next vice president. Membership or public relations. So renew your membership. It also doesn't work. Then I tried the last one, which is called the direct communication style. Here you don't beat about the bush. You just get to the point directly with specificity, because specific is terrible. So I told this like, my dear members, here are 3 reasons why you should renew your membership. The first one, you are getting an uninterrupted progress in your communication and your leadership journey with the help of the committee and the club. Second is, you are getting support of unmatched mentors, special mentors from EDMC to complete your pathways. And the third is, you will represent our club inside as well as outside in speech contest. Believe me, it worked. So, what I'm trying to say is, communication is like everything. You can adopt or adopt any kind of vehicle based on the road and situation. For example, if you own an aircraft, doesn't mean that if you want to go to MTR, you use that. You can just walk down. So I found my right communications, and just to reach a mountain peak, there are many paths. You can choose your own path. I found my style. Have you?
Thank you, Toastmaster Sheeb. I'm sure we are all ready to hand out our membership renewal fees after that speech. Up next for evaluation is Toastmaster Karunakar Dev, who's evaluating our speaker attempting project Motivate Others from level 4 of Pathway Motivation Strategies. This evaluator's persuasive powers are known to be legendary. They say he can convince anyone of anything. even sell ice to Eskimos, or convince someone to buy a shadow under the bright sun. Our very own Wolf of St. Mark Street, Toastmaster Karunakar.
Thank you, Mansi. Good evening, everyone. The purpose of the project is for the member to practice the skills needed to motivate team members and to share some aspects of their experience motivating team members through the completion of a project. Over to you.
Thank you. Since there is so much sunshine in the room today, our next speaker is going to come and restore the imbalance, because he is the co-founder of a climate tech startup, ConnectX. A seasoned Toastmaster, he claims to have spent 50% of his life basking at the Bangalore Toastmasters Club. Optimistic and cheerful, though rumors suggest that half full glass might be filled with something a little stronger than lemonade. Let's give it up for Toastmaster Somashekar, attempting his speech titled Inspire the 90s.
If you look at my marks card when I was in high school, you will feel like the numbers are all in centigrade, 36, 38, 39. Today, if you look at the marks card of your children who are in high school or passing their 10th, it's all like in Fahrenheit. 96, 97, 98, 99. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests, I share my experience dealing with these people who were born in the 90s, because I built a team, a startup with these engineers. So in 2021, the first startup which I started was acquired by another company, and I got into an MNC with a fat paycheck. I thought actually I'd settle for life. But then it was totally wrong. Little did I know that fat paychecks means you are sold, you are the slave. So it came to a point, I worked for 2 years, came to a point wherein I had to take the calls from the toilet and bathroom. And that's when I said quits. And I started this venture, built a team with 4 people in it, all born in 90s, brilliant schools, brilliant people, 2 IITians. First month was simply amazing, brainstorming, ideas, preparing PPTs, slides, whatnot. The result was also good. Within 3 months, we were able to raise first round of funding. But afterwards, the team totally lost steam. It was a battery low condition. There was nothing, no outputs coming in at all, because that is a stage where we have to deliver products, the proof of concepts. We saw that nothing was happening. Then I started sending them those big quotes, all the CEOs telling, big idea is nothing. It's about execution. A great idea with no execution doesn't matter. That didn't work. Then I started sending WhatsApp messages. No, I was inspired by Joe's calls anyway. BTMC. I wrote big messages. Later I realized it solely inspires the sender. The recipients don't read it. Well, then, there's one thing. All these 4 people, they were all working remotely. So one was in Kerala, one was in Rajasthan, one was in Karur. Said, next week, you're all coming here. We'll all meet in Bangalore. 1 week, it is a brainstorming session, followed by a 60-90 session. Now, that really worked great for me. The intent here was to build a rapport with the team. Working remotely, looking at the video screen, now, that doesn't work. But here, like 60-90, I used to call it 30-60-90, but now 30 doesn't work. So this 60-90 session, it worked so brilliantly. That is where I could really connect with them. Some people, they were depressed, they had so many problems at home, they could not give their best. After this session, the performance of the team really improved. Then I started studying, what is that actually these people, the millennials, they really think, what do they want? So they are tech savvy, they love to multitask. But one thing I realized, or actually research said that one of the most important things what matters to them is purpose. Because they are used to the praise by the parents and teachers, and they want to be rewarded for what they are creating, and they also want to do what is that actually I'm trying to do. Well, ours is a climate tech. As Mansi said, we had a great story. We are saving the planet. But I realized that is really at a high level. People want to know not just why we are doing it, but who is the one who is getting impacted. Right? So that's when I had to tell the story of, a real story. What happened in my earlier company at NPS, when there was this cyclone in the US, the coast was washed off. There was one family survived. And they wrote a letter to our CEO. We were making solar panels and the battery storage system. They said, we survived just because you. Believe it or not, the software engineers in my team there, they were so elated by those messages. You think you're developing software, but since the software was working right, the battery was getting charged and 1 week they could leave. Now, when I told the story that even in our case, somewhere remotely in Africa, you are powering the house of a untrodden man, right? That made a big difference. Purpose. Right? Now, Toastmasters is all about feedback as well. It's not just enough I tell something, right? So in this 60-90 session, I got an opportunity to ask about me. What was it? Am I doing something wrong? That's where another aspect of millennials came into picture. Inclusion. They said, Soma, many times you write mails, but I see that you are addressing a particular person. I didn't realize. So my intent was that I didn't want to flood everyone's inbox. So targeted message was being sent. But they felt they were excluded. It's a small team. Why do you do that? Right? Inclusion is the most important thing. They will decide what to take, what not to take. But they told me that actually take us along. That was a great message. My dear friends, this was a positive story. There was also a case where I had to let go of a brilliant guy who again studied in Singapore. His IQ was so great, but then very indecisive. And it went to such an extent for many times he would say, I need to ask my parents. Here, there is a message for all of us. I know we love our children. We stand behind them. We correct their answers. But once they get into the teenage, you need to leave them alone. Right? Well, you are there to monitor them, but then don't be behind their shoulders so that you don't ruin their life. They're smart enough, the millennials. They just need some guidance and support. I think that's the message, biggest message I got actually of the entire exercise. My dear friends, at the end, if I were to summarize about these people who were born in the 90s, what I feel is they want to do work that matters. And they want to work for those leaders who tell them that they matter. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Somashekar. See, I already knew about the 60-90 even before he came on stage. Now we're going to break for 5 minutes and be right back after 5 minutes. Thank you. One, two, three, four, five, six. Just checking if everyone's back from the break, because now it's time for the much dreaded table topics. Our table topic master might be a master in the tech of the IBM world, but when it comes to the latest tech trends, he prefers the single finger, one letter at a time typing. No wonder his daughter calls him the master of slow tech. While others are glued to their social media feeds, he prefers getting lost within the pages of a good newspaper, savoring every word at a time for a good 1 hour. Maybe that's why he disappeared for a few weeks last year on a secret trip to Amsterdam, France, Belgium, and Spain. Don't worry, I'm not going to talk about your glass, because what happens in Amsterdam stays in Amsterdam. Please welcome our table topic master, Toastmaster Sudipto.
Thank you, Nani.
that was because of you. You spoke to me last. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, how are you doing? Great. Okay, so table topics is not new to you. For the first time guests, this is an impromptu session where I will call out a topic and the person has to speak impromptu. For today, the timings are maximum of 1.5 minutes, so you will have a green card at 1 minute 15 and 1:30 is a absolute stop. Otherwise, we will start that. Some of the topics today will be a little bit wacky. So look at the lighter side, the topic and the light, and go with the flow. So I looked up the day today and why is it, what are some of the associated days by this day is famous. One thing caught my fancy, that was today is also the International Body Piercing Day. So in honor of the day, would you fancy getting a earring on the stomach? For that I have your nose. In honor of the International Body Piercing Day, would you fancy getting the stomach pierced?
Hello.
So good evening Toastmasters and my dear guests.
Good evening.
So yeah, the topic is would I mind getting piercing on my stomach? So what I believe is our bodies are like Taj Mahal. They are like white. I mean not white. I mean pure and beautiful. So I prefer keeping it like that without any tarnishing. So I definitely wouldn't get piercing except for the one I have, which is ear piercing. Other than that, I wouldn't prefer getting any kind of piercing, and also because
do you eat a lot, huh?
yeah, sorry?
Do you eat a lot?
No, not because I eat a lot. Yeah, also because my parents are very strict, so they wouldn't be allowing that. I feel like there are other, there are places you can get piercing, like you get a nose piercing, which should be pretty. You can go for a second piercing. I mean, there are other areas you can get piercing in my stomach. Yeah. So, yeah. Over to you.
9-12 for keeping your body pristine. A day without a laughter is a day wasted. Could we have Hitesh?
So good evening Toastmasters and dear guests. Yeah, so my topic is a day without laughter is a day waste. So at the end of the day, how many of you think that what's the purpose of life? You guys have a motto for which you live for. Some people feel that, okay, I live for earning. So how many of you feel here that you live only to earn? No? How many of you feel that you live only to eat? Including me. Okay. Yeah. Okay. How many of you feel here that you live to take care of your family? So one thing actually which Mr. Somashekar suggested and brought up in his speech, which actually inspired me as well, is connecting to people, right? And what better way to connect with people than sharing the laughter with them or enjoying being with them together. So that's one way for us to connect with people. So a day without laughter, whether it's at home or in office, is not worth living. Thank you.
laughed so hard that could we have Vishal?
I laughed so hard that the next moment I was dead. Let me tell you the story. I was playing a video game in 2020 with my friends while my teacher was taking an online class. I had two monitors. So one monitor was the teacher explaining all the useless information I will never use in my life. The second was where I had all my attention. I was playing a game of Valorant. Now, there is something that I have to tell you about the lockdown. I was praised so much in my class WhatsApp because I was the only one who answered when the teachers used to ask a question. I was so popular that people were running campaigns. Vishal for President 2024. And so as I was playing the game, the teacher asked a question. Now I did not want to lose this popularity. So I paused the game, I went on and I answered. And then I got back to the game while I was playing with my friends. I started shouting, "Bro, there's an enemy in mid, shoot, shoot." And when he died, I started laughing. What I didn't realize is mute was something that I forgot to click. So next second, all classes failed, 0 marks. So I died.
Really glad to see you are still alive and kicking. Okay, let's see if we can amp it up a little bit more. For the next speaker, what would you do if you wake up to find the tiger next to you? What would you do if you wake up to find the tiger next to you? Can we have clear?
What would I do if I wake up and find a tiger next to me? So I think like all the married men, like whoever has raised my wife was like a tiger. So fortunately for us, even though if I wake up tomorrow, I'll not see that face. So that is the thing. I don't know what they see in that. I know that tiger is a fearsome carnivorous thing. So I don't know what. I do agree that your wife eats chicken or mutton. Chicken not gonna eat it, don't worry. Okay. So it's rather than what I will do, you think about what you have to do next time with this new perspective.
Thank you, Taran. Wait to see once you are married. Next up, very special topic. As a patient of chronic diarrhea, how do you live your life? And we have Rannorey. As a patient of chronic diarrhea, how do you live your life?
I had read somewhere you should never have a laxative and a sleeping pill on the same day. You will landing in big trouble. But if I had a patient of chronic diarrhea, forget about what's coming from the back. I would laugh my way out because I remember a small incident which happened. There was this story which I read when I was small. They had asked, what is the fastest thing in the world? So somebody said, I think so, it's the electric light, because when you switch it on, it immediately comes up. The next person said, no, it's not the electric light, it's when you wake up, because as soon as you wake up, the light comes on. It happens in half a second. Somebody said before you put on the light and before you close your eyes, if you have diarrhea, it comes out in 1/4 of a second. So I think so that is the fastest thing. But if I was a patient of chronic diarrhea, I think so the only thing which I would have done was sit in the toilet, relax, and laugh my way out. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Raju, for educating us about this piece and piece. Okay, let's try to see how good is your convincing skills. Convince the audience that the earth is flat. Vijay?
How many of you here have ever gone to circus? So in the circus, have you seen that globe? Yes. Where the motorbike goes round and round? Have you seen that person spin in that wheel, walking round and round, or a rat running within the wheel? Have any of you experienced that in your day-to-day life? When you're walking? That's the exact thing what the topic master is saying. The world is flat. Anything which you cannot see, you do not believe, right? Correct? So do you see anything spherical around you except the fan? Toastmaster logo. Toastmaster logo is round. That you can only see. But you are not within that logo. So I am sure anything that you cannot see, you do not believe. And hence, you do not see that earth is round. That's why earth is flat. So if it was round, you would not have ended up going back to your house. You would have been rotating here again and again. Right? So I am sure the topic master meant the earth is flat.
So let's ask the audience, are you convinced?
Yes.
His
wife is convinced.
Okay, the next person is going to convince, not us, but his girlfriend to try his favorite food, which happens to be cake topped with tomato ketchup. The next person is going to convince his girlfriend to try out his favorite food, which is a cake topped with tomato ketchup. Can we have
I don't think I can convince myself to have something like that. Really, cake with tomato ketchup? Like flat earthers, a few people I hate are tomato ketchupers. They will add tomato ketchup to anything. It doesn't matter. Initially, I thought adding tomato ketchup to Maggi was fine and sandwiches was fine. But you add to every damn thing and then you lose its taste. So if I had to convince, hypothetically, my girlfriend that you should have tomato ketchup with a cake, I don't know. I don't be able to because I can't convince anybody else. Something that I can't convince myself. And the only reason I'm good at convincing is because I convince myself first. So maybe, just maybe, I'm going to put that tomato ketchup on my cake, on my slice of the cake, and take a bite. And if I like it, I would say, this is yum, you should take a chance. And I put a little dab of the ketchup on her slice, and ask her to take a bite. Maybe she will try it. If she does, I will encourage her to have it tomorrow. But I think first I'll have to convince myself. I've never tried this. Maybe after this I'll go out and I'll actually try it. At Juice Junction, you all are free to join me. We'll find cake and we'll find some ketchup. Let's see if it works well. If it doesn't, we'll come back to Sudipto. Thank you.
Thank you. provide you the cake and the cake. So from convincing skills, we move on to a quote from Einstein. Listen carefully. The difference, this is from Einstein. The difference between stupidity and genius is that genius has its limits. The difference between stupidity and genius is that genius has its limits. To tell us more about that, can we have Shankar?
Geniuses are right. I heard a small story about a small child playing in the hall, in the house. As usual, the parents are working from home and they are busy working in the room. This child started crying suddenly. We couldn't stop him at all. And when the father came out running to ask what happened, the child told that I swallowed a 1 rupee coin and I'm about to die. And the father tried to convince him out of it, telling him it's okay, it happens, you can just keep it there, it will come out in the morning, the next day. The child was not willing to listen. And the child felt that he was about to die. He wanted to go to the doctor. So the father thought of a plan. He took one more 1 rupee coin from the pocket, went near the child's ears, said, "Abracadabra, say magic." The coin is back from your stomach. Child was surprised. How did you do it? Father said, "Magic." Now the son is impressed. What did the child do? He took that 1 rupee coin, swallowed once again. Please repeat the magic once again. Right? Sometimes we think we act smart. We think we are geniuses. But when we come across such innocent souls, right, who are natural and who are pure, I think our talent, our genius is nothing compared to such people.
Thank you, Sushant. Brilliant take on the topic. Okay, let's see. Next one. Again, please listen carefully. Men always want to be a woman's first love. Women like to be a man's last romance. Men always want to be the woman's first love. Women like to be the man's last romance. And we have that.
A very good evening to fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. Okay. I don't think I have any take on the topic as such, but bear me for that. I haven't had any experience, but a man wants to first love. Okay. I think a man wants to be a woman's first love because I don't know, he's not wanting to experience the world or something. I'm not sure. But I think the woman is more, she's always wanting for freedom and her individuality. So she's always looking around the world and traveling places and trying to find her first love in her passion or something. But men are just wowed by the beauty of women, may I say. And that's why a man is woman's first love.
Okay, I think we'll all the rest of the speakers, I will give the topic we have. Srinivas, Kamlesh, Akash, Menon. Anybody else left? So we will go 30 seconds each and we'll get a red card. 30 seconds. Together we will write a story for the next break. Yes. Okay? I will start off with the movie story and then 30 seconds each. You take it up and So listen to the story carefully, just a one-liner. So this is the script for the movie. I ran to my girlfriend and hugged her on her cheeks. Glad to see you, Seema. Back came the reply. I am not Seema, I am her twin sister, Rishma.
Okay, it's okay. It's okay. Because my love is there for everybody. To you and your sister, the love is the same. I share the same love to you and your sister. Why don't we go at triples in our bike? Yeah, I have an excellent bike, brand new. We can go triples and there's loads of fun. You can ride or I will ride, but we will all three have a great fun. And we'll go on a long drive for a lovely dinner near a good restaurant which has come up recently. You will have a great time.
Doesn't make a difference with the name. Name is just a matter of, it's a immortal word now. Now what we will take you to the drive, but also that we will have a very good yacht for you. And we will take you to the long drive to the sea. You will never experience in your life that I can offer to you. I always seem to get girlfriend topics. So right before we left on a long drive, I asked Seema, do you have twins or triplets or quadruplets? Has this happened with your other sisters as well? Or is it with your only sibling so far? She told me that it's happened with the other two as well, but they seem to like it unlike the second sister. So they are happy with it as long as it happens. And they encourage it, so it's 5 of them in one bike. Yeah. Thank you.
So do we have any great folks there who would produce this movie with this actors?
They're all married.
And Kamlesh, his name doesn't matter, right? That's not your Bible. Okay, with that, I think my fun time is over. Handing it back to Mansi. And I think the committee for giving me this.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sudipto, for such an entertaining session. That's what a seasoned Toastmaster brings to the table, right? So now we move to the third and the final part of our meeting, which is our evaluation. Our general evaluator is a powerhouse of positivity, an analytics consultant with over 14 years of experience in the consumer and retail industry. She knows how to analyze our meetings from all angles. As the division director-elect for the upcoming term for District 121, she brings a wealth of Toastmasters knowledge. When she is not evaluating our meetings and leading our districts, she loves spending quality time with her family, her true source of sunshine. Can we please put our hands together for our general evaluator, Toastmaster, Srilakshmi, Shankar.
Sunshine, and you cannot see a shadow. Wow, what a powerful theme our Vice President Education has chosen for the last meeting of his term. Thank you. It brings a lot of positivity, my thoughts, and I could resonate so much. One thing I'd like to start off by keeping our face towards the sun. We cultivate a mindset, rightly said by our Madam Toastmaster of the day. It's all about the mind game. We will look at the sunshine, the mindset is turning into growth mindset, resilience, and endless positive possibilities. One such example was when I looked up where did this phrase come from or who gave it. It was by one Madam Helen Keller, and I think our Toastmaster Vishal had already shared. Not sure everybody had a chance to see that or read through. Let me just jog up your memory. So Helen Keller, she was born way back in the 90s, in the 20th century. And at the age of 19 months, she lost her eyesight and even became deaf due to illness. But that did not stop her. Rightly so, she looked at that sunshine who kept going, and that's what made her get her degree. She learned how to use braille, and with the help of her teacher, who was her sunshine, she went ahead and got a bachelor's in arts. So, for the benefit of the guests today, what is a general evaluation? Like our Madam Toastmaster today mentioned, there are 3 sections: our prepared speeches, which was done, there was a table topic section, which was done, and then there's general evaluation. A common phrase when you hear evaluation or general evaluation, they say breakfast of champions, because you have a lot of feedback. Again, not like judges devaluing their contestants, but providing constructive feedback. And it's only my opinion and the evaluator's opinion, and to know that it is to enhance one's speech craft, to take it from one level to another. So as I mentioned, I will be one coordinating with the speech evaluations, 2 report of my TAGL team, which is abbreviation for timer, counter, and grammarian, and then present an overall evaluation of the meeting. So, without further ado, let me commence the evaluation of prepared speeches. We had our first speaker, Toastmaster Amrit, and to evaluate, or has been evaluated by Toastmaster Abhay Kothari. May I please request you to provide your feedback.
There are speeches, and then there are speeches that come from the heart. Would you agree with me, audience, that yes. Toastmaster Amrit's speech resonated with each one of you? 100%. Yes. And Amrit, this is because your topic was extremely relatable. What you did really amazingly well is you started off with a slightly less harmful example, and then moved on to an example which was really great and very personal, and one that takes a lot of courage to share in an audience such as this. And when you did this, you automatically transitioned us from the problem statement to the solution that you were trying to propose. Now, speeches in general can have 4 general purposes, which is to inform, inspire, persuade, and entertain. And you had 3 general purposes, which was to inform. You also gave a lot of data and facts and cited the sources. Inspired by the kind of foundational phrase that you had, that is, seatbelt is a life belt. And also you persuaded us with your powerful stories. So I'm very glad to say, Amrit, that you have met all the objectives of this project. The other things that you did really well is you had a very cool, comfortable voice and a very calming stage presence. And you had a lot of pauses, which by the nature of your speech came very naturally to you. Some observations from my side are, Amrit, that when you gave your first example and your nose was bleeding very profusely, although in hindsight you may smile at it, but I'm sure when you were really going through that, it was not a very happy experience. So to connect more with that audience at the time, please try to keep congruency with your gestures. And I also observed that you were slightly at the back here. So when you're addressing the audience, I would recommend that you stand in front and very confidently address the audience. So these are a couple of suggestions that I had. And to challenge yourself, I would want you to try and give your foundational phrase at the very end as a powerful conclusion to your speech. It's like this: seatbelt is a life belt. So buckle up. Give a pause and then you may exit the stage. So these are some of my suggestions and challenges to you. To summarize, you started really well. You laid the problem statement really well. You transitioned us to the solution using some powerful persuasion with your personal stories. And I have already given you some of the observations. So with this, I hope that your next speeches will be even more amazing. Over to you, Sheeb.
So Toastmaster Abhay, that was a wonderful evaluation. So we need to remember that evaluation has pros, cons and summarization, and that's exactly what he did. But to come to our speaker, Toastmaster Amrit, there were two aspects what our evaluator touched upon. One was your content and one was your speech delivery, right? But what I like about your delivery, when you said, I was in the dashing car, I went left and I went right and then I got jolted. You painted a story with the way you delivered. So kudos to you. And at the same time, evoking those emotions, hats off. Thank you, Toastmaster Amrit and Toastmaster Abhay. A big round of applause. And our next speaker was Toastmaster Sheeb, Kumar. And to evaluate him and provide inputs, may I please invite distinguished Toastmaster Gangaadhar Krishna.
This is one evaluation where you will never see a shadow because it's from one sunshine to another sunshine. I must say, Toastmaster Sheeb, you started your speech brilliantly because the play of words, which is a very important thing, and you used that very well. Also, when your speech is titled, You Understand. So that itself was very attention grabbing, and it was also making me think, you understand what I'm trying to know? The whole thing is mentioned. So it was a great start. And then when I went to see the purpose of the project, I think we met it very well, in the sense. And for the member to learn about different communication styles, and that you did it beautifully when you mentioned about the 3 B's of how you can possibly get memberships. And later on 4 different other styles that you tried, but it did not work. So you were very clear in meeting the objectives of what the project speech demands. It was very well done. You had a lot of humor when you were trying to talk, and you were very comfortable on stage. And I've always found you very comfortable on stage. That's not good. And I remember one of your earlier speeches where you were talking about the English language, and I can relate that with this, how it gels in. And that gives you more comfort because you're already used to that kind of speaking content. So it was good there also. And it finally came to what is your ambition style, not the end. So, all in all, I think the project purpose is definitely met. And if I may, you had the opportunity to use more of the stage space, but I thought you were a little bit, sort of a mechanical movement between rather than the 4 different B's, the 3 B's or the 4 different styles of doing it. So you could have possibly tried that. And I must tell you, and I've told you this before, you have a hoarse voice. So when you have a hoarse voice, it's very important that you have to speak sometimes slowly and make certain words very clear. Because I just managed to catch on the Govind shot. That's why I asked you once again. So that is a very important. And Toastmaster of the day asked you, do you want to use the good mic? So it was a great speech. It met all the purpose. There was nothing wrong with that. Everything was fine. And if I might just summarize it in my way of doing it, I would say your speech was speechless and a real treat. Sharing your thoughts and ideas so creatively was a great feat. But to make this a greater speech, use a mic, for it helps for greater reach.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Gangaadhar. I have just one thing to add, if I may. When I agree with all of your points, in fact, I wanted to say one and you covered them all, but like for Toastmaster Sheeb, when Toastmaster Gangaadhar said, you were walking and it was not paced properly. Just if I may give you a suggestion, when you spoke about the 4 leadership styles, right? You could say leadership style number 1, spoken about it. Leadership style number 2. So there is a chronological order and we are expecting that as well, which would enhance. Right? A big round of applause. And finally, according to me, the ever-smiling Karunakar Dev, who evaluated our Toastmaster Somashekar. May I please welcome Karunakar.
Thank you.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Good evening, everyone. The purpose of Somashekhar's speech was to motivate team members and share some aspects of motivating your team members in future. Somashekar, I love the progression of his speech. How you build strategies, how you secured funding, and identified very early that motivation won't help. But yes, then you got your acts together, you got your team members together, and the central idea, the speech that you wanted to craft, or the message that you wanted to bring out came fantastically well. That creating togetherness atmosphere infused a sense of belonging in the minds of people. That is very important for any person who wants to be the brand ambassador of an organization. And this togetherness enabled you to find what actually the aliens want. What is the need for the product that you are actually trying to build, and what exactly is the purpose behind it, right? So at last you are also able to motivate team members to feel that they are the guardians of the galaxy. They are igniting light in the lives of people, right? So that actually only happens when you build a fantastic product and motivate people by your conduct. That is supremely important. The only suggestion I have is 2 P's in your speech. One is posture. You are a serial entrepreneur. You are creating one of the biggest problem that we have, unemployment, by doing your bit. And you have been building technology and product that commands respect. So posture, I think you are bent down a little throughout your speech. Stand firm and say that you conquer the place here, right? And second is pause. Pausing was also very important. Whenever you made a remark or something that actually had value, let it sink in the mind of people, right? But you are doing fantastic. You are creating a product which is helping mankind, and people will definitely realize in times to come. And you completely define what Henry Ford famously said: if everybody is moving forward together, the success takes care of itself. And you are doing your bit by getting your team together.
Thank you, Toastmaster Karunakar Dev, for those wonderful inputs. I always look for Somashekar speeches because I get to laugh a lot, but then he warned me it's going to be a motivational speech, so it's all serious, but he still managed to get a smile on our face, or rather to tickle our funny bones. So thank you, Toastmaster Somashekar and Toastmaster Karunakar Dev. Moving on to the second segment, to invite the silent role players, their role, may I first invite the R counter. I want to go with R counter, grammarian, and the timer. And if I may. So can I please invite invite Toastmaster Prakarsh, Anand for our counter.
People who are flawless: Toastmaster Priyanka, Toastmaster Rajdeep, Toastmaster Vijay Kalgundri, Toastmaster Kumar, Shashank, Abhay. People who could do better were having less than 5 words: Taran, Sudipto, Vishal, Chiran, Srilakshmi, Toastmaster Gangaadhar, and people who can do better had more than 5 words: Toastmaster Mansi, Jewel, Sheeb. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Prakarsh, for that crisp report. I really loved the way when you said less than, more than. Some people go to the nitty-gritty saying that you use 10 pauses or 10 hours. Nobody wants that. So thanks for making that crisp. And to move on to the next role taker, the grammarian. Our grammarian for today was Toastmaster Aranha.
It's a good meeting when the good usages outweigh the not so good usages. So some of the good usages for today were reminiscing, conquer your mind. It's a very interesting use of wordplay, which is master of slogan, powerhouse of positivity, resonate, cultivate a mindset, seatbelt is a life belt, play of words, igniting light in the lives of people. Now, the not so good usages with scope of improvement, slight of a distraction can just be slight distraction, fall like anything should have been proved to be your downfall, beat about the bush should have been beat around the bush. Now, this is the main part which you all were waiting for. The word of the day was used by Mansi, Pradeep, Prakarsh, Gangaadhar. And anyone who points out any person who I am not, they are also invited for afternoon. So anyway, anyone who has any doubts or clarification, please meet the president after the
Thank you, Mr. Grammarian, Toastmaster Alan. I'd like to include that one more person was yourself, so I'll include myself to the lunch as well. To the last role taker, and the most important for me is the timekeeper, and he did look at his budget and he was quite stringent. So may I please welcome Toastmaster Pradeep Padmanabhan.
Today is the last meeting of the outgoing committee, and there were supposed to be a few use of privilege, right, or rather abuse of privilege. So we had a few. Sergeant in Arms, Toastmaster Taran, Madam President, Toastmaster Priyanka, Toastmaster of the Day, Mansi. They were a little flirting with the timelines. I have the exact timings here if anybody wants the report, it's all recorded. A few others, Toastmaster Vishal had a day on the stage, exceeding the time limit allocated to him. Toastmaster Chiran badly missed this cutoff, but other than that, I'm happy to report the rest of the team was well on time, within time, on time. Thank you so much.
So that was the report of our tag team, and my view of the entire meeting stands such that the meeting started precisely at 6:30, and Toastmaster Taran did make sure that it started on time by Toastmaster Taran. I just love the energy you bring in here. Not many sergeant-at-arms could do that, but you got 26 weeks to practice that and we reached here. So a big round of applause. Yes, we need to look at housekeeping rules, but we did that in the power of 3. 1, 2, 3. This is what we need to speak. This is what we're not supposed to speak with the power of 3. And it's easy to digest, easy to follow. So I love that about it. But what I loved and over anything was the way he introduced our Madam President. That's one of the main responsibilities of the Sergeant at Arms. One, to look at, if we follow the housekeeping rules, to start the meeting on time, and over and above, to give a good introduction to the Madam President. And he did this week after week and not being monotonous. He had that smile, he had the energy, and he even upped the energy with us putting our hands up in the air and giving that thunderous round of applause. But for that, what do we give him? That was a great farewell introduction for our Madam President. And then we saw our Madam President, Toastmaster Priyanka. So personally, I'm not the only one, but a lot of us believe the amount of hard work she puts in. And that was also clearly mentioned by our Sergeant at Arms. So I really look up to her. She brings in so much of energy, number one, and the intent to get things right. So you go an extra mile, and I always love that about her. But today, she brought a story of her own grandfather, and that's how she caught our attention. Today, it's not, I won't be speaking about what you did today, but how you've come so far, and what a term, Toastmaster Priyanka. Really, really thank you for the smooth functioning and giving or paving way to our President-elect as well, our current VP Education. To this, I owe you a thunderous applause with our members. Many congratulations once again. I'm going to park my observation of our Madam Toastmaster of the day till the end. I will be moving on to our table topic master, who's always exciting, and there's always a little bit of dance in his movements. Somebody mentioned spring, and the way he came in, right? And thank Toastmaster Himani and threw a cookie. But all in all, it's always so nice to see you, Toastmaster Sudipto. Yes, you said you will be giving us wacky topics, and you did fail us. They were indeed really wacky topics that some of them had to come and ask you. So that would be a little bit of a improvement, that clearly state it and then call upon someone and then clearly state the topic again so that it registers. And you did paraphrasing only towards the end, but I wanted you to paraphrase something because it was so wacky, bringing your wacky paraphrases as well. But all in all, I always enjoy the table topics and you did great justice. Thank you. And finally, to our Madam Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Mansi. So I like dressing for success, and I do that. And today, somebody who I had to look up to was Toastmaster Mansi. I love it when people really dress up and take their roles seriously, and she did that even before the meeting started. She promptly called all of us, and one of them, Miss Kifli, did not reply, and she was like, "Can we please have a quick connect?" I quickly gave her the intro, but believe me, we've all given our introductions to her, but she did justice to bring in so much of variety in introducing each one of us. So I'll keep this quick. What I love about you is, and the responsibility of the Toastmaster of the day is one, the introductions, right? and you had it really high up there, right? Introducing, making us feel like we are superheroes. Job well done. There were smooth transitions between all of the segments, be it from the prepared speech to table topics to the general evaluation, and even paraphrasing the speakers. Brilliant. Since we are pressed with time, I already love what you did, but I just want 2 points just so that it's better for you. First, you had your speech ready. You were so good that sometimes when something disturbing comes, you just go with it. But I saw when the phone rang, there was a bit of, your flow of thoughts went. But you're already a great speaker. Don't bother next time. Just go for it and have these fillers, even if you want to practice it. That's one. And second, again, just as I mentioned for the table topics, same way, when you introduce your speaker, and this is the way, even the speeches, the contest speeches, this is the way they are introduced. Our first speaker, Toastmaster Amrit, with the speech title, Buckle Up. Buckle Up, Toastmaster Amrit. So that you don't lose the title or the name for people who are making the evaluations. But all in all, great effort, even before the meeting, during the meeting, and now, hats off to you, Madam Toastmaster. With this, I now hand back to our elegant Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Mansi. Thank you. So you have the link. The link is shared for your voting, and the password is 5693. 5693 is the password. Please cast your vote. Can anyone raise your hand once you're done? So, 5693. So I've got a hand. I hope you've completed voting. Thank you so much. You've been a wonderful audience, and congratulations once again for the current XCOM team finishing up in a big high, a big round of applause to all of you. And now back to our Madam Toastmaster today, Toastmaster Mansi.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. I'm sure we can all use all those valuable feedback and shine even brighter in our future meetings. Thank God it's Friday and our Toastmasters have their classes brimming. So where are they headed? Destination Sunshine. Thank you so much, everyone. We hope you had a great time. See you again next week. Thank you. Bye.
Destination Sunshine.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day, for such lovely introductions and such humorous meeting. Let's do a huge round of applause. Thank you, General Evaluator, for your very insightful feedbacks, and I'm sure we all incorporated, we will all go to the next level. Let's thank and give a round of applause for General Evaluator. One announcement only for the members. I hope you all have blocked your calendar and looking forward to meeting you all on Sunday at 10 a.m. That is only for the members.
Renew your membership to know that.
And I want to thank each and every one of you, all the members, role takers, and everyone for being very supportive in my entire journey. As it's the last meeting, me as a president, I just want to thank you. I mean, I'm just lost of words, but thank you also not less, but you all have been very, very supportive in my journey. Thank you so much for that. And with this, the best auxiliary role taker for today's meeting goes to someone who very carefully listened to our good and not so good usages of words and pronounced that today's meeting was filled with more good usages of words. Toastmaster. The best role taker award for today's meeting goes to someone that we all are looking forward how they are going to be introduced. Or the next person, our Toastmaster of the day, The best table topic speaker goes to the person who told us we should not take someone for granted. Let it be their innocence or their genius. Goes to Toastmaster Shankar. The Best Evaluator Award for today's meeting goes to who very nicely explains the importance of how we need to emote our emotions. Toastmaster Abhay Kothari. The best speaker for today's meeting. Someone who taught us a very important lesson is to protect ourselves and buckle up. Toastmaster. I would request all the winners to please join me on the stage with their certificates. Thank you everyone. Once again, I would like to thank my entire committee for organizing this meeting, everything going so well. Thank you so much. Let's give them a huge round of applause. And thank you all for your energy for today's meeting and for everything. With this, signing off as President, I adjourn today's meeting.